Let's bring in Derek Jeter. Derek, thank you so much for joining us here on MLB Network. Newly elected Hall of Famer, Derek Jeter. Your reaction to that?
Can you say it again?
Newly elected Hall of Famer, Derek Jeter. Congratulations on your reaction to the news.
No, thank you. I mean, this is something that I think when you start off your career, you're never thinking about the Hall of Fame. I mean, this is the highest honor that can be given to any individual that plays this game. And you know, I was speechless when I got the call. You know, everyone said, you know, anticipate a phone call coming at such and such time. But quite frankly, I was pretty nervous. And when I got it, I really didn't know what to say.
Hey, Derek, it's Bob Costas. Congratulations. It's interesting what you just said, because in your case, your election was a foregone conclusion. So maybe some people would think, well, you're kind of blasé about it. But you just said that you got goosebumps, I guess, when you got that call. When the call comes, whether it's expected or not, it's still a life-changing moment.
No question, no question. I got the phone call from Jack O'Connell. I've known Jack for quite some time, obviously in New York, and you know, I'm one that I don't like to jinx anything, so I never like to talk about it. I try not to pay much attention to the news, and you know, everyone's saying, "Oh, well, it's a foregone conclusion," like you said, but I never looked at it that way because this is something that's very difficult. You're talking about 1% of the players that have ever played this game get into the Hall of Fame, so it's very humbling.
Derek, it's Tom Verducci. Congratulations, so well deserved. What a career! I know how much work went into it, but obviously a lot of people have touched you along the way in terms of you as a professional baseball player and personally. So at a moment like this, a terrific honor, who are the people that first come to your mind?
Well, first is my family. I mean, they're the ones that have been around for you know, obviously my entire career, but just starting from my dream of playing professional baseball when I was 4 or 5 years old. So you think about the family, you think about the Steinbrenner family. Get the opportunity to live out my dream of playing for the New York Yankees, and not only playing for them, but having the opportunity to play 20 years at the major league level with this organization. So you thank the entire Steinbrenner family, the fans of New York. I mean, they're the ones that challenged me. I've said it before, I'll say it again, the greatest fans in the world. And, you know, they're the ones that pushed me day in and day out. I mean, the list goes on and on about the people that I can thank. But I guess I got to save something to say during the speech, right?
A little bit. Hey, Derek, it's Harold here. So is the 5-year ban up? Can we talk Hall of Fame now?
We can talk about it as much as you want now, Harold.
He would never let me talk about it, but I understand. I want to take you back. You know, we've been talking so much about you hit .210 your first year, 56 errors one season. Where do you go from there, and how do you get to the point where you're at today?
A lot of help. A lot of hard work. You know, I was homesick. I was completely overmatched. And to have the opportunity to have that support group, I mentioned my family. I mean, a lot of phone calls back home crying every night, thinking that I'd made a mistake signing professionally. But just having that support and people that you can lean on. And obviously great player development, great coaching. I mean, I will go through the list at some point. But great coaching, people sticking with me and having confidence in me. And then ultimately you have a little bit of success, and you always look back on that success, and you feel as though that you can continue to do it. So, you know, I've been blessed to play a long career, play on some great teams, have a lot of support, and we had a lot of success as well.
Boy, Derek Jeter gets on the show and our phones blow up. And we got people calling our control room constantly. We have a special guest that wants to say something to you, Derek. He's on the phone right now. Special guest, what would you like to say to newly elected Hall of Famer Derek Jeter?
I just like to say, Mr. Jeter, congratulations about getting into the Hall of Fame, my man. This is a
Thank you very
moment.
much. I appreciate it. And I don't mean to cut you off, but you talk about people that have helped me throughout my career. I mean, Mr. T, you're right there up at the top, and you've been a mentor of mine, not only during my playing career, but even in my post-career, so I appreciate it.
Well, you're very special. You were very special from the first time I met you, and it couldn't have happened to a more deserving individual as far as I was concerned. And I'm just so happy for you and, of course, your family, because I know how close, close you guys are. And, of course, those little girls at home are going to all of a sudden see their dad in a different light.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And you're one of the people that is responsible for my success. You had a lot of confidence in me. I know I've told you this plenty of times in the past, but I appreciate everything that you've meant to, and you said it, not only me, but my entire family.
Well, I look forward to seeing you up at Cooperstown in July, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Joe Torre, before we let you go, your first impression when you were in the clubhouse and you saw this guy who's now a Hall of Famer. What'd you think of Derek Jeter the first time you met him?
Well, actually, even before I met him, I saw him interviewed on TV. I remember this was my first trip to the American League, and Tony Fernandez was the veteran, and I all of a sudden we're committing to Derek Jeter because he was a young guy, and that's what the organization wanted to do. And I remember I said Derek Jeter's going to be our shortstop, and when they asked Derek the same question, he said, I'm going to get an opportunity to win the job. And I knew right away this person, not that he measured his words, but that's the way he felt, which to me was very special for a 21-year-old.
Well, Joe Torre, thank you so
And
much.
I got the job by default. I got the job by default because Tony Fernandez broke his arm. It sounds all great now, but you're going to ship me out of there.
No, but the thing about it is you really said something for the guys who had 150 in spring training. That's all I could say.
Hey, Joe and Derek, I know you guys through the years, but one of the funniest things was we were talking about how Derek never made mistakes, and he said one time Joe got on him. You got to share the story, Derek, in spring training.
Oh man, well,
You went to the wrong base or something like that, right?
Well, I didn't cover second base. We're at the end of spring training. 1996, and there's a ground ball in the hole at first base, a runner on first and 2 outs, and I forgot to cover second base, and we ended up getting out of the inning. But I was sitting on the on-deck circle, and Mr. T has a way of correcting you, scolding you without even looking at you. And, he didn't turn towards me. He just basically said, we're leaving here in about a week, so get your head out of here. And, we're on live TV, so I can't tell you exactly what he said, but that was basically it. I got the point.
And so do we, Derek. We got the point. Joe Torre, once again, thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it, Joe.
This was a fun call, guys. Enjoy. Thanks.
All right. Hey, Derek, I got to ask you, this past summer you watched your teammate Mariano Rivera get inducted. Watching you sit in the stands, knowing that this day was going to come for you, what was that weekend like in Cooperstown, New York?
That weekend was hot. I remember that much. But, when you're there, I was just so happy for Mariano, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to be there for him. But, I know you guys don't know me well. I think Harold knows me a little bit better. But I honestly, I tried not to think about it because I never assumed that no one assumes they're going to go to the Hall of Fame. And this is quite an honor. And to get that many people to agree on it is pretty humbling.
To have him on the stage there watching you be inducted into the Hall of Fame is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Derek Jeter, newly elected Hall of Famer, congratulations once again. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.